And joining us live is Dr. Volker Stanzel. He's a former German ambassador to China, senior distinguished fellow at SWP. Thank you so much, Dr. Stanzel, for joining us on the broadcast on WION World this morning.
You're welcome.
Dr. Stanzel, help us ascertain how much of this escalation reflects the long-standing power struggle in the Middle East and just how much of it is a direct result of Iran's nuclear capabilities.
Well, if you look back a few years, you could see that Iran has succeeded in gaining allies in its struggle against Israel and pursuing its purpose of eliminating, as it said, Israel. This were the Hezbollah, this were Hamas, of course, this was Syria, and the Houthis. So it had its allies, and Israel had a reason to feel threatened. But I think the major threat to Israel was the progress the Iranian nuclear program made. And as IAEA has said that 60% enrichment of uranium is unjustifiable for a civilian nuclear program, the conclusion the Israelis drew was that there was indeed a nuclear program to develop nuclear arms, which Iran has said it would not do, and which Iran also has obliged itself as a member of the IAEA that it would not do that. So they needed to come to a solution. Now, of course, you saw that the Americans were negotiating with Iran in order to find such a solution. So what was the reason for Israel to act at this time? The only reason that would make sense if Israel said that a threat was imminent, because under international law, you have the right for a preeminent action, preeminent strike in the case of imminent danger threatening you. Now, with 60% of enrichment in the uranium in Iran, and even with a threat of, at some point in time, a nuclear bomb being ready, the argument that this is an imminent danger is pretty vague. So I think we are here in a situation where we see that Israel acted for other reasons earlier, and we may speculate about that, but that it did not have a reason that would be justifiable under international law.
Right. Dr. Stanzel, please stay with us. We have a breaking news just coming in, where Israel's military has said that they're currently launching attacks on several sites in Iran. Israel's military has said that it was currently launching attacks on several strikes across Iran as it kept up its campaign targeting the Islamic Republic's military and nuclear sites. Well, this after Iran responded to Israeli strikes with waves of drones and missile barrages. The Israeli military has said that its ongoing air campaign in Iran had now given it the required aerial freedom for actions from West Iran to Tehran, where 70 fighter jets carried out the strikes overnight. Once again, reiterating for our viewers, big news coming in. Israel military has said that they are currently launching attacks on several sites in Iran. Israel's military has said that it was currently launching attacks on several sites across Iran as it kept up its campaign targeting the Islamic Republic's military and nuclear sites. Well, this after Iran responded to Israeli strikes in waves of drones and missile barrages. The Israeli military has said that its ongoing air campaign in Iran has now given it the required aerial freedom for actions from West Iran to Tehran, where 70 fighter jets carried out strikes overnight. Right. Thank you so much for staying with us, Dr. Stanzel, and continuing where we dropped off. We are also hearing from Prime Minister Netanyahu, who has described Iran as the head of an octopus, the center of a network of groups across regions, and ranging from Houthis to Hezbollah to Hamas. And now the question is that beyond dismantling Iran's nuclear capabilities, do these strikes also reflect a broader strategy to undermine Iran's influence in the region and with its allies?
Most certainly. Now its allies are already almost totally eliminated and not able to attack Israel anymore. That is the success of the beginning of the whole war after 7th of October. of last year. But to argue that the danger is so imminent that Israel had to act, I think, is a very thin argument. And as you have seen from the reaction of Donald Trump and his government, the United States expected actually to be able to continue the negotiations with Iran. It is very hard to see that there was a reason that forced Israel to act now. Now, we all know that there are a variety of suspicions. Why does Netanyahu go in this war now, when if there would not be any war, he might be threatened with having to go to court because of the corruption charges they are waiting for him? Now, that is a suspicion, but I think one needs to keep that in mind in order to try to understand what is happening here. You said eliminate the Iranian threat in the whole region. That, of course, does make sense with just, if you look at it from a geopolitical point of view. It makes sense because Iran, with strengthening its alliance with both China and Russia, of course, could count on support from these two countries in its future activities, both getting ready nuclear arms and also trying to attack Israel again, but maybe from different directions than in the past.
Right, Dr. Stancil, and now from the latest that we're getting, we're seeing that now that after Iran has responded to the Israeli strikes with waves of drones and missile barrages, Israeli military is saying that now it has given them the aerial freedom for action from West Iran to Tehran. And now, given those circumstances, and we're seeing US's shifting stance as well about Israel's Israel's aerial attacks, do you think there's any chance of Iran returning to the negotiating table for the 6th round of nuclear talks? And we've talked to experts throughout the day, and the chances seem pretty slim. But what's your assessment of the situation right now?
I think there are chances because Iran obviously militarily is extremely weak now, and getting together with the United States might give it the hope that the United States will exert pressure on Israel to stop striking Iran. Also, I think the friends and allies of Iran might exert some influence in order to get it back to the negotiating table. These are, as I said before, Russia and China in the first place, but it has other friends around the world, like India, of course, and Saudi Arabia is not an ally, but it has a close relationship to Iran now. I think these could have an impact if they did what we just heard, what happened, telephoning with the Iranian leadership and trying to influence them in order to go back to the negotiating table.
Right. Thank you so much, Dr. Stancil, for joining us on the broadcast and sharing a valuable perspective with us.
You're welcome.